Okay, today we are playing a game on Volskaya Industries. We are in the Gold SR range, and we will be playing Hanzo the entire way through. Our current team composition is Reinhardt, Zarya, Hanzo, Genji, Ana, and Zenyatta. So, pretty boring. Let's just start the game, because I've got nothing to say about it, basically. So we've got to defend Volskaya first, which is almost as arduous as attacking Volskaya Industries is, but not quite as bad. So we could be standing up on the high ground behind us right now, because we're standing quite close to the enemy team, and then we get jumped by Tracer. And, you know, we do have Storm Arrow. We could have used this to try and fend her off as well. But there's a more direct way to solve this problem, which is just be standing up on the high ground, basically, because then Tracer can't do much to you unless she goes really out of her way to get to you. And we also could have just lunged up onto the high ground and gotten away with her once things started to get a little bit scary. But, just in general, any kind of longer range hero, basically, greatly benefits from just hanging out on the high ground, because it's just better angle. You can use the floor as cover by stepping back. Oh, we've just left the voice chat. I wasn't listening, but something, presumably something terrible was happening. This, you know, sounds about right. I do notice that Reinhardt just went to May and then went to Torbjorn, so he's having a great time, it seems like. But yeah, high ground's really good. Try to abuse high ground. So when did we use Sonic Arrow? We used it here? It's a little bit early to use Sonic Arrow because the enemy team, they've only just captured the first checkpoint. So by the time they're arriving up here, Sonic Arrow's worn off, so we could have waited a little bit longer. We should still be up on the high ground. They do also have a Pharah, which is upsetting. She's up to no good back here. Well, she's got Sonic Arrow in her now. It turns into a bit of a mess really fast. Try not to wake the sleeping man. Unless you're gonna kill the sleeping man, which I suppose is not really waking him up, is it? It's just telling him to sleep for longer, if you think about it. Yeah, this all starts to fall apart really quickly, though, and our team comp has become terrible in, like, the span of a second or two, so, you know. We don't hold this checkpoint. It's okay. We're gonna be here for a while still. We get to play a few rounds on good old Volskaya, which I feel like is probably the map I've spent the most time on. Like, I've seen a game, well, no, I've seen a game on Horizon go 8-9, but I've seen games on Volskaya go just about as long as well. Young Dag said GG. Who's Young Dag? We gotta know. It's someone on their team. No? No, it's Junkrat. Okay, apparently I can't fucking read. Alright, so anyway, now we've got to attack Volskaya Industries, which is only slightly more arduous than defending Volskaya Industries is. Our team comp is not as bad as it was previously. We shot... Oh, she just killed herself. Alright, well, fair enough. I was like, we did give up on her pretty fast, but I guess she gave up on herself as well. And, now they're already down 2 people right at the start of the round, so it's going pretty well for us, actually. No, it's going pretty well. It does take us a while to, like, get in here and actually take part in the fight that's happening on the objective right now. Because we are trying to get Tracer, I get that, but we end up not doing anything for a while in this fight. Now we're up here. Great. Basically, we could have lunged forward up onto the high ground and been taking part a little bit faster. We do have Storm Arrow up right now, so we could have used that to try and kill the Tracer, seeing as that's easier to do. It's easier to spam a few arrows at her than just fire the 1 arrow at a time. But we've captured the checkpoint. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. So now we've only got to capture the second checkpoint. And this is why you shouldn't tilt off of not defending the first 2 points, right? Because I've seen this story a fair few times where, like, they roll over the objective, the first one, in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and everybody tilts, but then you turn around and immediately capture both points in a minute and a half as well, and well, I guess we just both suck, actually. But people get really upset. People get really upset in this game. So here's Genji. Ooh, be careful when you shoot at the Genji, because he is going to deflect, and we haven't seen him use deflect yet, so we should assume he has it until we see otherwise. We could be up on the high ground right now, also, because, you know, High ground's pretty sick. And there's also, you can stand, like, back on the window behind there as well and, like, shoot through here at the enemy team, but that's not as good of an angle. We could just be up on the high ground and have a better angle, be safer, all that stuff, you know. Hanzo doesn't benefit from high ground as much as the hit scan heroes do, but I mean, he's still a fan. He's still a fan of the high ground. So we failed that push. It's okay, we can try again. We've got a few ultimates building up. We've almost got 4 ultimates right now. Lucio just changed to D.Va. So do we have a healer anymore? No, we don't. Very exciting, very exciting. We do have a lot of ultimates to use, though, at least. So, seeing as we have no healers, we basically are going to have to go and get some health kits, probably, before too long. So we're going to come over here, up and around. It's taken us a while to really get in on this team fight right here. We have deployed the dragon now, killed Genji, all good. C Peanut has left the game, so that's very exciting for us also, because I don't think he was dead yet. And so those are basically the two, oh no, here comes Genji. There goes Genji. So they're the 2 throwaway rounds, basically. Neither round had very much going on because both teams just captured the checkpoints very fucking fast. But now, we've got 2 rounds left. We've got 1 more round each, and makes up a lot. It takes up more than the previous 2 rounds combined. So, this is where the game actually happens. Do we have a healer now? Did we have a healer? We have Lucio. So, I mean, our name is Hanzo only, so, you know, we're kind of about Hanzo, and I know this video's about Hanzo, but I feel obligated to say, we really should change to a healer. We should change to a healer, but we are playing Hanzo. And our account name is, oh, it's Hanzo. Hanzo only, yeah. It's Hanzo only. It just looks silly because there's 2 O's right next to each other. Anyway, so now we've got to attack again, because we had less time than them. Their McCree is standing off in a stupid place, but he's not actually dead. It looks like he might get away with it. He's in fact getting away with it, and that's very upsetting to me, because look where this guy was. Look at this guy. He's out here all by his lonesome, but hey, he just turns around and double taps Ash, so hey, you know, great. Then he kills Lucio as well, and then Mei finally got him, but he already killed 2 people, and now half our team is dead, so we shouldn't be this far up anymore because we're probably going to die. This is also not a great time to use Sonic Arrow. Gone back a little bit too far. So because we throw Sonic Arrow right here, we can kind of just already see this area, so it doesn't really get us much, and now we have to leave anyway because half our team is dead, so... you don't get so much value out of Sonic Arrow if you just point it right where you're looking at already. So, anyway, we lost that team fight. Here comes Farah. She's trying really hard to get us right now. And she actually didn't manage to get us. Hooray. We aren't using lunge a whole lot, I've noticed. In fact, I'm not sure if we've used lunge the entire time. Hanzo's got some pretty good mobility. Like, lunge is pretty good, and you can do a lot of, climbing up and over walls to avoid danger. He's quite a sturdy boy, all things considered. So unfortunately, you know, we're not really getting very far, like throwing our arrows into their shields right now. But you know what we could do? You know what we could do? We could just like scamper up this wall real quick, and then suddenly, or up this wall real quick, and then suddenly we get a way better angle to shoot at the people past their shields, because she's just currently hopping away from us, and we really want her dead. But if everybody's over here, she's never going to point the shield anywhere else. And also, we just want to be up on high ground, because it still remains as strong as ever, pretty much. Because just like this angle, it's just not as good, man. Oh god, that was scary, Jesus Christ. You just can't see as much. It's way easier to die, because just imagine, like, Tracer sees us over here doing this, and she comes up behind us, right? If we're up on the high ground, she just can't do that. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm noticing so far. We also didn't use Storm Arrow that much, because there were quite a few times where we were like in a skirmish with people and we didn't use Storm Arrow to try and fend them off, because it's just easier to fend them off with Storm Arrow than it is with regular arrows. I don't know what I was gonna say there. I was like reaching for an ability name, but it's literally just the arrows, isn't it? So, Farah's still around. Ooh, yep, Only gotta get one shot in, that's fine. So, Blizzard's on the point over here, and we use Sonic Arrow. It's not a great time to use it, because again, we've kind of chucked it just where we can already see everybody. Whereas it would be better to use it, like, right now, to chuck kind of in this region, so we can see the people hiding behind this wall, because right here, nobody's standing over here, and we can see the whole rest of the point. So, this is also where they're most likely to reinforce from, so the arrow being over there would be more helpful, because it would cover more of the area that they are likely to move through. We also could go further up right now, because our team is controlling the objective right now, or at least attempting to, so we could move up to here. And then we're in, and, you know, just peek in this room real quick, just to make sure nobody's in there if we do that, because, there's been enough times where I've, like, hopped over there a soldier, and there's just been a Junkrat sat in that room waiting. It doesn't feel very good. But seeing as our team's fighting up here, we can move up to this platform and have a better angle of everything happening below us, and we would be able to shoot the people over here, whereas now, right now, that's just a complete mystery zone to us over there. We also do almost have, Dragon Strike built up. We just got punched in the fucking face. Ooh, very scary. Didn't get us. Okay, but he's trying, he's trying, he's trying. We got him. Great. Grow Trunks. Anyway, we've lost that fight. The thing is that because our only healer is Lucio, our team has really bad staying power. If we don't win a fight pretty quickly, we pretty much are not going to win the fight, because they've got way better long-term fighting potential than we do, because they actually have a main healer, and 2 healers no less. So we're waiting for our team right now. Good patience to not just go and up there to shoot at them for no reason, because, I mean, we need to wait for our team to at least sort of regroup before we can do anything. And we already have Dragon Strike built up right now, so we don't need to go and poke. It would do nothing but expose us to the enemy team, so good patience to not do that. Which is more than you can say of a lot of people when they play this game. So, we are really low health, and we're just gonna... Oh, we got no healer anymore? How exciting. We really should change. We really should change to a healer. But we sit, we wait, we get the health kit. It was, like, really fucking bad efficiency overall. We sat and waited for this the entire spawn. Like, it's very bad efficiency. But we also can't go poking our face out of 50 hit points either, so... Sometimes life is difficult. We really should change to a healer. So here, we're trying to get McCree. The thing is that McCree can just do exactly this and roll up to us and flashbang us. So we really don't want to get close to McCree unless we know that he's unless we know he's used flashbang. We also chucked the Sonic Arrow in that room. When did we do that? We did chuck it through the room, which is less helpful, because if we chucked it... Because we chucked it through the backside of that door. Oh, God, I didn't actually pause the fucking video. Jesus Christ, god damn. Oh. We chucked it through the room. If we chuck it, like, at the wall back there, or the wall right here, that's more helpful, because McCree is not super likely to go all the way around the backhand sides. He's a lot more likely to just come out this way at us, and if the arrow's here, that's more helpful, because it'll cover that way. We'll also see if he starts going back that way regardless, because we'll see which way his silhouette's going. And we're more covered for if he comes out here and starts fighting us, because we can see around the boxes. So that would be better positioning for the arrow. Rather than straight through the room. But we also should just hang out on the high ground still, because if we're up on the high ground, he can't roll flashbang fan the hammer on us. We come into the area that he's able to do that to us, and this is important to bear in mind for, like, a lot of things, is that heroes have a zone of threat around them, right? And I like to imagine people's zones of threat as a circle around them, right? So we got, like, McCree right here in the middle. The flashbang roll range, like, the flashbang range is very scary, right? So, like, pretty much right around him. And then flashbang roll is also pretty scary. But then outside of those areas, McCree is a lot less scary overall. And we have to try and play around their zone of threat, because if we imagine Hanzo's zone of threat, right, it's actually pretty fucking big, because he doesn't have damage fall off or anything, right? Now, he's not as good long range as, like, Widow is, because a good Widow will beat you at long range as Hanzo, but Hanzo's zone of threat is still pretty fucking big overall, right? Whereas if McCree's is like that, we can just edge him out instead and just hang out outside of where he can reasonably threaten us and just kill him from outside that range, basically, or try to. And, you know, everybody's got the zone of threat, and the goal, and you have your own zone of threat as well. Hanzo has a very long zone of threat compared to someone like McCree, so the goal is to get him in your zone of threat without exposing yourself to his zone of threat, because then you're just in a position to kill him, and he's not really in a position to kill you. Same with, like, Soldier as well, very long-range hero, so you just want to stay out of their zone of threat. Widowmaker, Ashe, all the same idea. This is also why High Ground is really good, because that kind of distorts people's zone of threat. Because if McCree's on low ground, Flashbang and Roll suddenly just don't become any kind of concern to you anymore, unless, like, literally you're right at the edge and he's right there and throws it up at you, right? So if he's low, you're high, you've just got a massive advantage over him, because he suddenly has to aim up at high ground, which is way harder to do, and he can't use any of his abilities to fight you. So, that's why it's, you know, that's what most positioning is based around. I like to imagine it all as circles around people. Reinhardt's is a little bit wonky if you think about it, because if Reinhardt's like right there, he's obviously got the scary circle right in front of him, but if he's facing this, like, this way, then he also has this giant cone shape coming off of him as well for Earthshatter's zone of threat. But, I like to imagine their zone of threat around the person, and then use that basically to tell me how I should position. Because I want mine on them, without going into theirs, pretty much. This is also why Roadhog is still sort of a tank, even though we joke that he is just a DPS that has a lot of hit points, because Roadhog's zone of threat is so fucking scary because of the hook, right? Like, if you imagine, like, degrees, like blue to red in terms of, like, scary, Roadhog's zone of threat is like bright red, like extreme risk of dying circle, right? Which is, so a lot of playing Roadhog is trying to position your circle so that the enemy team have to stay like really far away to stay safe, or play more around cover to avoid exposing themselves to you. Because the hook is just so very scary. So we could have gone harder to try and get her right now, because we can see that D.Va's using Defense Matrix over the Barrage. So we could actually lunge round the corner right now and just try to kill Pharah as quickly as possible. Because we can see Defense Matrix happening. We know that Pharah can't do anything to us, but Defense Matrix doesn't last that long. So we want to get out there and kill the Pharah as quickly as possible. So things are not looking good still. For this round. We don't have any healers still, so things are a bit grim. You know, it's not going well, I'd say. And you know, it's really a shame, because I can tell the enemy team are not very good, right? Like, they aren't actually that good, but our team comp is so bad that it's just, like, impossible for us to start getting any progress at all. If we had a decent team comp, we probably would beat them, but people tilted instantaneously off the first round, so life's difficult sometimes. So, and you know, We can see now, we got 6.5 minutes left. Video don't go no 6 minutes longer, so, Because, I mean, think about it. We didn't have a healer for the first checkpoint, first attack, and then for most of the second attack, but we still got a 1.5 points, right? Even with our really bad team comp, they didn't do a great job of stopping us. So imagine if we had a real team comp. So now we've got Bastion strats going on, and someone actually picked Mercy, which is absolutely incredible, isn't it? Or someone picked Reaper as well. Yo, did you see the Reaper changes on the PTR for Shadow Step? Shadow Step can now be used in the air, and Reaper is fully invisible until he finishes the teleport. On the other end, at least. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? Fucking jump and teleport. Sick. Because, you know, people were so happy about how Reaper is currently. I'm sure they'll respond great to him receiving more buffs after that. People will love it. Anyway, so, Reaper's gone all the fuck way out there. We managed to slap, which feels pretty good. Farah's up above us, up to no good. See, look, now Tracer can't do anything to us, but we've come down off the high ground. We did manage to kill her, so that's good. Honestly, after getting the one shot in, it would have probably been better to go to Storm Arrow immediately afterwards. I mean, she walks into us, so we just punch her out, finish her anyway. But we only need one more tap on the Tracer to kill her. Just start Storm Arrowing that bitch. Because you only got to get one more in. But see, look how good it is up here. Look, Reinhardt can't do anything to us because his circle's completely negated by the height difference. We do come down right on top of him, which, you know, we got the guy, so hey, feels good, I mean, but like, ideally we just shoot the guy from on the high ground instead, because I mean, it's not like he's in cover, right? Like, we can see him over the edge pretty clearly. Reinhardt's not blocking or anything, so us coming down here made it a little easier to kill him, but it also made it way easier for us to die as well. Anna, not as scary as McCree and Reinhardt together, so I'm not so bothered about that one. Just look how good high ground is. Look how less threatening everybody is when you're up here. Good play. It's a good place. A good position to try and control. And this is like a pretty good place to stand, because not everybody can actually get up here. Like, someone like Tracer has to go, like, really out of their way to get here. So Reaper died, that's a really good start. Oh, and now Bastion's dead as well. Mercy did res him. We unfortunately did not kill the Farah, and we're pretty much the only one who can. So that's, you know, aim better, all that. Fantastic advice, as always. So we lost that checkpoint. That's the thing with the Bastion comp, is as soon as the Bastion dies, it kind of all starts to fall apart pretty quickly, doesn't it? So we do have Dragon Strike built up, at least. It's something. It's something. Not sure where we're going right now, because there's not really anything for us to do out there. Looks like we're doing something around our computer right now instead. We're going to try and shoot somebody as they come across. I'm not really super excited to do that, because we just, like, risk getting picked off. And, like, there's people over there that are pretty good at picking people off. I mean, it's the right kind of idea to use it, because you want to use it, like, when they're coming through a confined space, but, like, they're not really all that grouped together, and there's lots of different ways they can go, so they weren't already that grouped up, so I'd rather wait to use it till, like, they're pushing in through, like, here, because if we chuck it at, like, Reinhardt now, Reinhardt gets put in a pretty unfortunate position where he has to, like, go out into open space or into the room on the side. And then everybody who's following him suddenly has to break off in their own different directions. Killed that guy. Feels good. Should be up on the high ground also. Reinhardt's getting really close to us, and Reinhardt's scary unless you're on high ground. But then everybody else would get split up. It is the right idea. We don't have Zarya to combo with or anything, so we want to try and use it when they're in, like, a confined position or just kind of all grouped up right on top of each other. But that wasn't, like, a great example of either circumstance right there. So it is really hard to stand up on that high ground just because of the platforms going by. Ooh, jumped right up into the missile. Feels bad, man. Moira. Oh, she did it. She did it. She actually stuck her face out again, even though she just saw us use the Sonic Arrow. So we're, I assume, looking for Farah right now, which is fair enough. Farah's pretty scary. Really, couldn't. Okay, there we go. I was like, really, there's nobody over in that doorway yet? So a bunch of people just got picked off like 1,000 miles away from home. So, it's not looking good. We're gonna have to click on some heads pretty well in the near future to actually stop this push now. Here comes self-destruct. Did it get anybody? Not really. You know, half our team got picked off outside the gate. There's not a lot you can do about that one as Hanzo. Basically, we were going to have to just kill a lot of people really fast to stop that push right there at that point. And we didn't manage to do that. Which is not massively surprising. Reinhardt's face looks really stupid in that skin. Like, I'm a big fan of the Three Kingdoms, right? And Guan Yu's a pretty cool guy, but like, look at it. Look at that part specifically. It looks a little on the dopey side, doesn't it? Yeah. We don't watch the play of the game? We don't watch the play of the game. How sad. 26 loot boxes. No. Do not play the next video. What have we got? I like speedruns. I like Metal Gear Solid 4. I haven't watched JoJo's. I haven't watched much of JoJo's, I should say. I do need to do that at some point. Yeah, Dragon Ball GT. What the hell happened, right? What the hell happened? And I'm a fan of fighting games, so yeah, great. Everything's great. Gohan, the forgotten character. No one forgot him. We just all hate him. That's the difference. Anyway, so what stood out the most in that game was pretty much just not abusing high ground as much as possible. High ground's really good. Low ground that's where the dirty common folk stand. Ooh, oh, disgusting. We want to sit up on high ground where we can lord over them, which is exactly what Hanzo would do as well, so we gotta do that. It's just way safer. You got better angles. It's easier to get headshots on high ground. It's harder for them to shoot you. It's harder for them to get headshots as well. And Hanzo, like, he can get up on high ground really quickly. And he's... The fear for some people up on the high ground, like Anna going off to stand on the high ground by herself is kind of scary for Anna, because if divers and flankers come for her, she's not great at fending them off by herself. Hanzo is, like, super survivable, though, because you can just lunge away and use Storm Arrow to try and fend them off as well. So, like, and you can do all the wall climbing and everything as well to juke people. So, like, he gets all the benefit with very little of the drawback of divers and flankers. So try and abuse high ground. As far as games go, you know, it's not one we were ever meant to win, unfortunately. There are some games you're not meant to win, and that was kind of one of those games we were not meant to win. Because our team just had no interest in working together. Which happens, and there's not much you can do about that. Theoretically, could have still won if we played like an absolute god, but it's not exactly just a switch you can turn on and off, is it? Unfortunately. So there you go. So thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. I've started streaming on Twitch Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. 7 p.m. EST till 10 or 11 p.m. EST. There's a link in the description. If you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful.